Welcome back to the Board YouTube channel for your Thursday pick and roll live stream for December 19th. We've had a little bit of time off from these live streams here. We were live on Monday for our regular show. Tuesday, things changed because it was just a one game for the NBA Cup. So we had a pre-recorded video that went out for you guys. Yesterday, there was no NBA game, so we took the day off, but we're back today and looking to cash in on a very large slate of NBA games. Kind of past that period of the NBA. Well, NBA Cup is over, so we're past that period of minimal NBA games being on most days during the week. I think we'll be getting back into regular schedule for the NBA. So make sure to keep up to date with all the content we have here on the Board YouTube channel presented by the FanDuel Sportsbook, that you are subscribed. Turn on that notification bell so you never miss out on any of our content. And also make sure you do drop a like on this particular stream if you are enjoying along the way or tailing the picks from the show. Let's get started with the recap of the previous show's plays. We'll do the last two shows just because we haven't seen you guys since we've done two shows. And unfortunately, down a couple units from the last two. We had the winner on Evan Mobley on his PRA line. He had very limited minutes, his points rebounds line, very limited minutes. Still ended up covering in those limited minutes, so definitely found the good spot there. If it wasn't for foul trouble, would have absolutely crushed it. And then we had two big SGP losses. One was in the NBA Cup final, where Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the Thunder as a whole shoot very poorly. And Shai doesn't come over his point line for us. That was the only leg that missed. In the Raptors SGP that we had against the Bulls, Pirtle falls short. I know he left the game early with injury, but probably wouldn't have covered anyways. And then James Harden on assist does not get through against the Jazz alongside the Powell points and three-pointers, which did cash. So missing just the last leg on a few of these, but overall pips. Let's talk about any thoughts on these last 2 days of picks.
I liked our spot. Shai, I probably needed to bet more unders on this kind of game because it was insanely poor shooting, good defense, much physicality. So I didn't probably my mistake going with Shai, even though he had a ton of looks and ton of shots. He didn't go in. On the Harden one, that was supposed to be an easy winner. Unfortunate that he had 41 points in 3 quarters. Like, he was cooking, he wasn't looking to pass. He ended up at 6 assists in a blowout without 4 quarter minutes. That was a very unfortunate. And the third one was Jacob. He didn't look well even when he played.
Yeah.
So I don't know what was going on there, but yeah.
Yeah, unfortunate there. Tough start to the week after last week wasn't the one we wanted. So we're hoping to get things back here for the last 2 days of the week, especially as we get into the holiday season. Speaking of the holiday season, next week there are some holidays that will be interfering with the show. There are no games on Christmas Eve. We won't be live on Christmas Day or the day after. The day after is actually a holiday for myself here in Canada. So next week we'll be live on Monday for the regular show and Friday for the regular show. And then we'll be back to normal after that, aside from January 1st, which is New Year's Day, which is also a holiday. So keep an eye on the content. Again, if you have the notification bell on, you're subscribed to the channel, you'll know about all of this content on the channel and when it is coming out. But before we jump into the big slate of NBA games today, and there are a lot to go through, a word from the presenting sponsor on the Board YouTube channel, the FanDuel Sportsbook. And with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, they want you to catch the action this season. And hey, we can liven it up by using the FanDuel Sportsbook for our NBA plays. It's easy to use. There are a wide variety of different player prop markets available, which is very useful for things like the show here and for your own betting as well. Here on FanDuel, compared to other places, you'll see a much wider wealth of options for all of your sports betting. These markets are posted quickly. There's a lot of fair pricing involved, and oftentimes you'll find the best price in market available on FanDuel. And one of the best things that when you withdraw with FanDuel, it comes out very quickly, much quicker than other competitors. And right now with FanDuel, on top of all this great stuff, new customers can bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. So next time you get a hunch on who's going to win or how many points a player will score, bet it on FanDuel and watch your picks come to life. Just visit FanDuel.com/board. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Must be 21 plus and present in 6 states for Kansas affiliation with Kansas Star Casino or 18 plus and present in D.C. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issues now withdrawable bonus bets will expire 7 days after receipt. After a 3-month free trial, the full price of League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel anytime, no refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Level 1 password customers see terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit FanDuel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelpline.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. We'll jump back into things here and we'll pull up the FanDuel odds screen here to get ourselves started with the picks here. We'll start with the Thunder and Magic. It's the first game up here, but yeah, let's talk about that NBA Cup final a little bit more here. We have the Thunder here favored by 6.5 against the Magic. But one thing that was noted from the NBA Cup final was, well, teams are certainly leaning into the three-point shot a lot more these days. We know that, and we understand why that is the efficient way to play. However, with OKC, there was some conversations that were sprouted from the fact that they were just not making shots. They were not making threes, but they continued with the same game plan. What did you make of the Thunder's performance in that final, Pips? Do you think strategy should have changed at some point? Should they have stuck with it? Any thoughts?
I know the numbers for their guys, like for Shea, for J-Dub, for Dort, for the threes look great. But I don't consider them like a great 3-point shooters. Like they were all low volume, high efficiency. And when the game comes, they need to put a bit higher volume. I don't even expect them to make a ton of these shots. Like I don't think they have like every player on this team is not like reliable 3-point shooter. Like so it's kind of yeah, if you took like 3 threes a game, like as a wing guy, and you're shooting 40%, I would probably take like some guy that shoots like 36% on like 8 attempts over the guy that shoots 40% on 3 attempts a game or like that's just how I see it. Like I don't trust super low volumes to scale, and that game like was great to show that like you don't trust like Dort or Shea, even like he's great guy, but he struggled with 3-point shooting the entire career. Like J-Dub also, like when he needs to scale up his 3-point shooting. Dort, Cason Wallace, Caruso as well. Like only guy you should trust to shooting is Isaiah Joe, and he was 1 from 6 as well. So yeah, bunch of young guys that don't have a reliable 3-point shooter. Like they don't have like when you look at them shooting as a team, it's like oh yeah, they're one of the best. When you look at the roster, like there is not much like great 3-point shooters on that team. So yeah, I think that's the big thing. Yeah, they went to trust them or their guys to make the shots. Overall, it was bad variance. They probably were supposed to score at least 3 to 4 more, but I think they lose like anyway. Like they were blown out in this
Yeah,
game.
the Bucks. We'll give a credit to the Bucks here. Their defense was fantastic, and maybe the reason why OKC took so many threes is that there was no space to score on the inside. So, good planning from the Bucks. Strategy by Doc Rivers, and give them credit. They have seriously turned their season around and are NBA Cup champions as a result. But on this game in particular, the Thunder will be looking to bounce back, of course. As I said, they're favored by 6.5. Any thoughts on this game here against the Magic?
Yeah, I'm just looking to stop. It's a huge slate. I did prepare myself for this. I like looked into a lot of stuff, but not like everything. And yeah, it's a tough one because they played 2 days ago. Important game, huge minutes for their guys. So I don't think I'll have a bet in this one. And also the one I leaned under was Dort, and he moved to 9.5. So yeah, I'm not a fan of. Yeah, a lot of lines moved.
Yeah. One
That
thing to mention is that there's no games yesterday, so these lines have been up for longer than would be typical for one of
yeah.
these shows. So having to navigate through the lines having been shaped a little bit more than normal, but still opportunities could lie. Could it be in this game? The Pistons up against the Utah Jazz. Jazz 4.5 point underdogs on the road at over under here of 228. Any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, this one is should be like way better. I'll just try to actually build something up for this one on the spot. I think Yeah, they don't have FanDuel don't have lines for Malik Beasley, which is which sucks. Yeah, I do. I was like trying to build something around his threes,
Mm.
but yeah, they don't have any lines for it, which sucks. Ivy is doubtful. He was late scratch last game. I think he's like more of a questionable for this one. Uh, but yeah, they moved the lines for Tobias for everyone, and the Jazz are healthy, but that didn't help them last game to not being blown out. So I don't know what the fuck to think about this one. Uh, Cade assist were great at 9.5. It's now 10.5. So yeah, it's tough to pick a spot in this one. So as well, another game where we don't have anything.
All right, we'll move into the next game here. We have the Wizards in action. A very low spread for the Wizards. My goodness. They're at home, and it's only 3.5 point underdogs for the Wizards here in this one. I don't know. Well, we'll see once there's like tanking going on, but I don't know when the next time we will see the Washington Wizards favored in an NBA game is going to be. Over under here of 226. What are your thoughts for this game?
So Lamelo should be off the minutes limit. Miles Bridges is back. Brandon Miller, Mark Williams is starting at the five. So yeah, I do think this should be a win for the Hornets.
Yeah.
Wizards have I think Brogdon back and Kispert, so like some kind of NBA player on the team. Uh, but yeah, another game where I can't take anything, unfortunately.
All right. It's all right. We got a lot of games. We can keep moving through. We have the Bulls next up against the Boston Celtics. This is a big spread here. Bulls are 15-point underdogs on the road against the Boston Celtics. Wow. Really big spread for a team that is not like outright tanking at this point in the season and is also not really dealing with many injuries. Like Josh Giddey's questionable, but other than that, they've got like pretty much everybody here. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I know who the Celtics are, but it's just still jarring to see this at this point in the NBA season. How do you feel about the spread here and the game as a whole?
I think a spread is a bit too high. I mean, Bulls when they're healthy should. I mean, like when they're healthy, should be able to compete, like not getting blown out by 30 points. Giddy is questionable. If he's out, Bulls are probably a better team without him. More minutes to Isle, Sunmu, and Kobe White, who are both way better than Gide. So yeah, this should actually be like I will bet some unders. Like I'm afraid of a blowout. I will bet some overs, but yeah, tough one actually. Uh, if Gide was playing, I'll probably bet for sure Aedo Sunmu under. But this way, it's tough one. I'm just trying to think on the spot, checking out some stuff like Porzingis and Vucevic. All have been. It will be like a high scoring game. We can expect like 240 in this one.
Mhm.
Um, just thinking of it.
Yeah, I remember last game again when the Bulls played the Raptors. The total was 239. I think it closed at, and there was 200. Sorry, there was 103 points at halftime, and it looked like the game was gonna sail under, and it ended up. It either got really close. I actually think it did go like well over in the end. So a huge barrage second half. Point being, yeah, lots of points can go up in a game like this where the Chicago Bulls are featuring.
Yeah. Uh, I'm just thinking on the spot. I like Kristaps Porzingis and Vucevic in this matchup. I like even Lavin, but I'm afraid of a blowout, and it's tough for him to score. Like he is scoring a ton of points in the fourth. Like he is the guy that when game is a bit close, he is the guy taking over and scoring a ton. They played this team. Two teams played 3 weeks ago. and Lavin scored 29 points in a 9-point loss, but they were playing at home. Uh, in that game, Porzingis was on minutes restriction and he scored 21, covered this line, but he was incredibly efficient. I will do Porzingis 15 plus and Vucevic 15 plus, and then adding just 1-3 for Porzingis.
All right. We're going to play with Kristaps Porzingis and Nikola Vucevic, 15 plus points. And to get the price up a little bit more, we're going to tack
I
on
think,
with
yeah,
the 3-point line for Kristaps Porzingis here. Gives us to minus 122. Is that what we're going with?
yeah, that's a first official bet. Yeah.
All right. Here
Uh,
is the first official play. Sorry, I'll say it again. Porzingis and Vucevic, 15 plus points, and Porzingis 1 plus made 3. Takeaway on the explanation.
Yeah, they played earlier this season. As I said, Porzingis in that game scored 21 points in 25 minutes, limited minutes. He is now off minutes restriction. He's playing 32 minutes. He played 33 against Memphis. In a blowout against the Pistons, he played 30. So kind of safe to play at least 25 minutes as it looks, even if it's a blowout. Uh, he shot 2 from 5, so 5 threes in a limited minutes. He should at least score 1. Uh, they are just playing Vucevic mostly in drop coverage, so he should get quite some looks out of the 3. And when we go to the Vucevic one, last time they played season high, so second, like he had season high 39 against the Spurs without Wemby, but against he scored 32 against the Boston, against Porzingis, same matchup. He he just killed them. He was 6 from 9 from threes, like drop coverage for Porzingis. They just didn't care at all. He shot 9, made 6, scored 32 points. I don't see how he doesn't score 15 plus points even in 3 quarters. If Bulls were playing at home, I would bet Vucevic over 17.5 points. That would be my like straight bet. But they are away, so a bit higher blowout chance. So I'm going with this one.
All right, so this one has just moved in our favor here. It's now minus 116 at FanDuel. Pretty much changed right as we were talking about it. So an even better price by the time that I was able to get inserted there. So Porzingis 15 plus points, 1 plus made 3. Vucevic 15 plus points,
Yeah.
and we're getting now minus 116 odds available at FanDuel. All right, we can move into the next game there after the first official pick of the day, and we'll shift our focus to the Brooklyn Nets against the Toronto Raptors. A historic day because this is the first time this season the Toronto Raptors are favored for an NBA game. What are we at? Game like 27, 28 here. They're favored. They're favored by 3.5 at home against the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn have been pretty good this season. They're 10 and 16. They have lost 3 in a row. Well, that's way too good. They gave away Dennis Schroeder for some scraps because he's been too good. They've been winning games. They don't want to do that. Both teams, for the grand scheme of the season, may prefer to lose this game, but nonetheless, they're going to be battling it out on court. Players don't tank after all. The players want to win. So what can you make of this game here?
Not much because Barnes is questionable. So I think that's a huge one for this game. I don't know if he is expected to play or he just, yeah. So
With
I
the
don't know.
Raptors this season, it's been like you have no idea. Like
Yeah.
most teams, I'd say if a guy's like made questionable, okay, he's trending in the right direction to play. With the Raptors, I genuinely have no idea. And also with the way the season's going, there's no rush or incentive to play him earlier than needed.
Yeah. Me also, yeah, I agree. It makes zero sense to rush them at all. Yeah.
I will say though,
So
Pirtle is out, and typically when Jakob Pirtle's out, the Raptors they don't normally look like much of an NBA team. They do not look anything close to an NBA team when Pirtle doesn't play, especially if Barnes isn't playing as well.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
They're just disaster on both ends of the floor, but mostly defense there. All right, so we can move to the next. We good? We can move to the next game here.
Yep.
Golden State away at the Memphis Grizzlies. Golden State, the team that has acquired Dennis Schroeder off of the Brooklyn Nets. I'm actually unsure if Dennis Schroeder, I guess we can quickly look at the points here, if Dennis Schroeder is going to be playing today for the Warriors. If he is playing, yeah, he's listed here. Steve Kerr has hinted that he will be in the starting five alongside Steph Curry. First of all, let's talk about the acquisition there. Do you like it? Do you think Dennis Schroeder is a good fit for the Golden State Warriors?
Yeah, their goal is to have a secondary ball handler next to Steph Curry, and it makes complete sense to add for this cheap of a price to add Dennis Schroeder. I think that's especially how well he's playing this season. Of course, we knew that the shooting numbers will come down, but he's playing well, so I think that's a good addition to the team.
Yeah, they've been horrific. The Warriors when Steph Curry isn't on the floor. So imagine if Steph Curry's not on the floor, Dennis Schroeder will always be on the floor, and they'll get much better ball handling out of those minutes because Podziemski has not been playing very well this season, at least to the expectations of the Warriors. So Grizzlies still favored by 2.5 at home to the Warriors. The Grizzlies, mind you, have been great this season and are getting healthier, as we always say. Grizzlies up to second in the Western Conference. Any handicap for this game here?
Yeah, no, can't do much. Schroeder being out or in is huge. Uh, John Morant is not a great matchup, but you can't bet under on him because he can just go nuts. Uh, yeah, that's about it. I was eyeing Jonathan Kuminga
Mhm.
for an over, and I do like it. But with Schroeder being probably inserted in starting lineup, and them being disaster without Draymond Green in starting lineup, they could move back to Jonathan Kuminga to the bench, and I don't like that shit. So I don't want some Nick Richards
Yeah.
happening again. Yeah.
I think Kaminga will go back to the bench. I mean, Steve Kerr just doesn't seem to really like Jonathan Kaminga. It feels like a bit of the start of the season has been priming Jonathan Kaminga for a trade. At some point, I hope for Kaminga's sake he does get a move because I think he's a good player who just needs the proper environment to actually play basketball. I don't think he'll be with the Warriors, and even more so with Schroeder being added to the team. So we'll move to the next game here. We have the Houston Rockets hosting the New Orleans Pelicans as 9-point favorites. The Rockets playing great basketball this season, third in the Western Conference. The Pelicans, they are the lowest seed in the West, second lowest seed in the entire NBA. Much of that is chalked up to injuries. And the players that aren't injured, they made a big trade for DeJounte Murray. I've been seeing posts online about like what's happened to DeJounte Murray since he's gotten traded to the Pelicans. Maybe you guys haven't been watching Murray all these years, because Murray is the exact same guy that came from Atlanta. Like, the same guy who was in Atlanta is now in New Orleans. People are starting to recognize it a little bit more now. Anyways, on this game in particular, any handicaps?
Just a word on DeJounte Murray. Yeah, the thing that happened is no more Trae Young, no more like top three creator in the league, and like
He's the
when
creator
they
now. That's the
yeah,
problem.
yeah. Whenever he played with Trae Young, two opposing guards will be guarding Young, and no one was guarding DeJounte Murray, so he was wide open all the time. So he had good numbers, decent numbers, not even good numbers then. So yeah, I was looking into maybe check even fading DeJounte Murray, like betting the under. But usage is just incredible, and I don't know, like to sweat under 19 and a half, and he's going to take 20 plus attempts. So that one is rough. On the other side, all the Rockets players are in a good matchup, but this should be a blowout. This should be a blowout win for the Houston Rockets. Like, how do Pelicans score on this Houston Rockets team? Like,
Yeah.
it's difficult. I would lean. I would bet probably Shengun 20 plus in this one, but there's no way like to bet over 20 plus if I'm really concerned about four quarter minutes. So
Right.
another one, another no bet. And also all the lines for the Houston Rockets are a bit high for a 10 point spread. Usually they kind of lower them a bit down, but every player has a bit above average line. Like Jabari Smith 12 and a half. That's Iman Thompson 12 and a half. Like if it's a blowout, he gets a ton of run, but if it's not, like that's high. So yeah, I think they are well set for this one. So no bets. Another one. Like, sorry guys, huge slate. I know not much here, but yeah. can do
Yeah,
much. Can
it's a
force
lot of
stuff.
questionable players. Trades having happened. Uh, big spreads. We got a lot of games though. Let's try to keep moving here. We have the Hawks, the team that we just mentioned there, against the Spurs. The Hawks have been playing great basketball. Got to the NBA Cup semifinals as we saw. They seem to have come out on the right side of that DeJounte Murray trade. Hawks all the way up to 14-13 on the season, above 500, and underdogs here against the San Antonio Spurs. I guess there's been some travel involved. There's definitely some injuries as well that are going to hamper. With Okongwu out for this one, Trae Young is probable for this one, but it still feels like Atlanta could be considered the better team here. What do you think about this spread?
Uh, yeah, but the thing with spread is they are now playing healthy Spurs, and this is the first game of the season. I think the Spurs are healthy. Like they were like
Yeah, it looks like for the start of the game,
everyone,
nobody will be on the injury report for this game.
and I think that's the first time of the season so far. For so now their roster kind of looks good. For the Spurs, kind of looks like competitive, like playoff type competitive. I know probably someone could consider that a reach, but uh, they have decent record with Vassell missing so many games, Sohan missing so many games, Castle, Keldon. Like now they have like bench of Vassell, Castle, Keldon Johnson, Zach Collins, and Trey Jones, which is for a bench unit that's really good.
Pretty
Uh,
good.
yeah, and the offense is Chris Paul with Wemby, and then great cutter in Sohan and great shooters in Julian Champagne. So like they have something there. They have some stuff there, and yeah, I think it's a like they like even game. They should be like -110 on both sides.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Uh,
spread is
but
pretty even here.
yeah, it's pretty close. So yeah. Uh,
It's virtually
uh,
pick 'em.
uh, yeah, that's it. On this game, I don't know the minutes. I do like maybe I like Vassell. I'll probably bet Vassell. It I think the line is hmm, Vassell and Wemby. Just a second. Wemby 3+3 could also be the bet. He I'm checking. I'll check some stuff. Like Wemby when playing teams that allow threes. Just a second. We can probably share it. Yeah, it's on the screen. I'll just zoom in a bit. I think needs to zoom. So when he played teams that are outside of top 10 in like below average in defense above the break three, he averaged 4 threes a game. And Hawks allowed the most 3 pointers in the league and the most above the break threes. Uh, when he played teams that are allowing the most threes, he is over this line in 8 straight games with 4.7 average. The only under came against the Thunder, and they didn't let him get the ball. So if you like exclude that game, which was the game where they just double played two guys and him, he's over in 8 out of 8 games. So Wemby could be in a great spot to cover the threes against the team that allows the most above the break threes and the most overall. And he's scoring some of them from spot up, and they allow 10 most spot up. Yeah, I think. And we saw Towns and Holmgren killing them on threes. So Wemby threes should be a great bet. And we have this probably -115 to -125 out there. I'll say let's bet it up to -125. I'll just check the price on the FanDuel. I think it's probably the worst price in the market because they're sharp. Yeah, it's -136. You can bet it -130 as 3+, but that's the far that's like I won't go over that. Like minus 130 is the highest, and I think minus 115, minus 120, minus 125 are out there. I think minus 125 are widely available, but
Yes.
some better lines.
Yeah, minus 120 as well available for this one. So a lot of different areas in which you could find a price here. You said you'd go up to minus 130 here, Pips.
Yeah, it's the 3 plus for FanDuel, 1 minus 130. That's the
Okay.
we
So you
can
find
track it. Maybe we can track it at minus 120 up to minus 130.
yes, sounds good. So we've got Victor Wembanyama threes there for our second official play of the day. Minus 120 all the way up to minus 130. Good prices on this one. And we've had a lot of different bets with Victor Wembanyama threes this season. Sometimes mostly SGPs. Sometimes he comes through and maybe the other one doesn't. Sometimes the other side hasn't come through or he hasn't come through, specifically Victor. And sometimes we have had some winners there, hoping to find another one in this one. So we can then shift our focus to the next game. I'll get the confirmation there in the chat in just a moment. We'll shift to the next game, the Clippers visiting the Dallas Mavericks. Interesting matchup here. Clippers 4.5-point underdogs on the road. Any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, no, Luka is out. Uh, I don't know why are Clippers 4.5 underdogs.
Sorry, Pip's dealing with a little bit of construction today.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
okay,
know
but we can
why.
still hear you.
I don't know why Clippers are 4.5 when Luka is out and Kyrie is questionable. That's a bit confusing for me. I'll be honest. I think there is value in 4.5 on the Clippers and also on under 223 for this one. But I'll say more on Clippers covering. Uh, Let me just check the Clippers team. Who is anyone back of these? Derrick Jones questionable. That's a good stuff. If he returns, uh, yeah, that's it. And on the other side, Jaden Hardy, Luka Doncic are out. Kyrie is questionable. I don't know. I mean,
Something
how is
strange
this
going
team?
on here. Feels
Yeah,
like Clippers are a good spot.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
no,
just mute myself every time it's like going
it's not
on.
that bad. It's really not that bad.
Yeah. Okay,
I wouldn't worry
yeah.
about it too much. Yeah, so Doncic out, Kyrie questionable. Clippers, as you said, Derek Jones could return for today's game. Other than that, it's the same sort of team that they've been using, I suppose. So interesting spot in the Clippers in the spread, I'd say.
Yeah, but just a lean. That's it on that game. Not much there.
All
Just a
right,
lean on the spread.
we'll go to the next game then. Difficult to predict with Kyrie Irving questionable there. We have the Indiana Pacers. They have been definitely struggling this season, going up against the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns, the record isn't like anything glorious. They're 14-11, which is pretty good, but they have a very, very good record. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's very good when Kevin Durant plays. And Kevin Durant is playing this one. Bradley Beal is probable in this one as well for the Suns. So feels like a good spot for them to do well against the Pacers. How do you feel about the game?
Yeah, I think this is a good spot for the high scoring game. Uh, I yeah.
Yeah, spread.
I
Sorry, over
I
under here is 236.
yeah. So I'll in this one. I'm just checking something. I do like some stuff. Just a second. KD 20. I'll bet over 50. Bet Bill over 15 and a half. Like entire season is like him being on the line, on the line, on the line, every time on the line, and now gets the game where his type of players score
High pace.
like 30% more than their lines usually. And now this is prime time. Uh, just to say, like, I'll use when Bradley Beal, when KD is playing, which is Uh, and when you look at this, it's like under over in only 4 games. But he had exactly 15 in three, so he is like 8 out of 10 on 15 plus. And tonight game is like a great matchup. All the other games he played against Miami, against the Spurs, against the Nets, against the Clippers. Like not like he played terrible defensive teams. Dallas 76ers, like he played a lot of like Miami and 76ers, Clippers, Spurs, like slower pace teams with great to decent defense. And then he played the Lakers where he scored 23 in a blowout and had 2 games where he scored 15 points, shot terrible from the floor. So yeah, it's tough to shoot terrible against the Pacers. They allow a lot of free throws, pick and roll stuff, the ball handlers, transition points, spot. Like they allow a bit of everything. And last season, I bet him in this game. I'll just show you guys. Where he's against the Pacers. First game, 25 points, easy over. Both KD and Booker playing. Second game, he scores only 12 points. That was the game we had him, if you guys remember, when he had 0 from 4 in the fourth, and when he got hit in the nose or something and left the game, and
Yeah,
it was weird.
I
Yeah,
recall.
and they doubled KD and they sent doubles on Booker, and he was wide open almost the entire game. So yeah, if they have any approach similar, this should be a good spot for Bradley Beal. Last season, when both KD and Booker played, and when he got the minutes, let's just check when he played 30 plus minutes, like he's playing tonight for sure. He was covering this in 57% of the games, but had 18.5 points average. And when we exclude like great defensive teams, when he played bottom of the league defensive teams, he averaged 19 points a game. And now getting 15 and a half against terrible defense, like that's just way below. Like this line should be like at least 16 and a half, maybe even 17 and a half. So yeah, I don't
So
understand this line honestly.
third official play of the day is Bradley Beal over 15.5 points. It's moved to 16.5 on FanDuel. Minus 115 is widely available in market. There's also minus 120s available and potentially minus 110. So shop around, see what's the best in your area. We're going to be tracking this one at
Yeah.
minus 115. We'll go to the next game then. We've got 3 more games to go through with the big NBA slate today. Already 3 official picks in the book. So make sure you guys, if you guys are enjoying the show, you have hit that like button. It really does go a long way to help driving us up in the YouTube algorithm. Smash that like button if you're here watching. Share if you're watching on Twitter, or just like it on Twitter as well. The Knicks away at the Minnesota Timberwolves as 2.5-point underdogs. This game has a lot of interest because, as we know, there was a big trade between these two teams in the offseason. So Karl Anthony Towns will be back in Minnesota for this one. He's been playing great offensive ball this season for the Knicks. Julius Randle playing against his former team. Donte DiVincenzo playing against his former team. Interesting battle here. What do you make of this game, though?
Yeah, I had a bet on this one. So it moved. It was Jalen Brunson, 22 and a half, which was crazy line for me in that game. Now 23 and a half, which is kind of okay line. So I'm not looking into that much. I'll do check something for this one. Uh, Jalen Brunson with Edwards scoring 3 threes. It would be minus 111. I need to check that data. Anthony Edwards, 3 plus threes in 88% of the games this season. Yeah. We can do it like this. Branson, 20 plus. Edwards, 20 plus with 3 threes.
All right. Brunson,
Yeah,
20
this season.
plus points. Anthony Edwards, 20 plus points. And Anthony Edwards, 3 plus threes. We're there to minus 111 on FanDuel for this one.
Yeah. So when Edwards played 28 plus minutes this season, he scored 3 plus threes in 21 or 23. Like he's fucking Steph Curry. Like I don't know how to even explain that. The transition from like basically non-shooter, heavy slasher to the rim guy to being one of the best shooters in the league, probably the best shooter this season overall, which is incredible for him. Yeah, I don't think anyone can stop him tonight. Like Knicks are not great defense. They allow a ton of two ball handlers and they played a bunch of drop coverage with Towns because if he's not in drop coverage, he's in foul trouble and they can't play without him because substitution is Jericho Sims. Crazy stuff. Um, on the Brunson side, when he gets minutes for Brunson, when he gets minutes, he covering this like in large sample size. Like if you take a look at the games where he got 28 or more minutes, he covered this in 82% of the games, 25.7 average points. Uh, Pull up shooter against drop coverage of Gobert is usually working well. He's scoring 36% of his shot from mid range. Uh, Similar guys to him are Fox. Fox had 60 and 26 against the Wolves last two games. Just a great matchup for like Branson. I don't think they can put Jaden McDaniels on him. Maybe they could. Maybe they can. Maybe they can. But then he is just a bit quick for him. And yeah, he'll get to the line. He'll get wide open mid range, and more offs than everything else is that they don't give out spot up. They allow 6 4 least spot up. So OG Anunoby, Hart, and Michael Bridges won't have many looks. So it'll be Branson trying to cook in this one more than in other games. So a bit higher usage in this one. And yeah, she should cover this. I think preseason game he scored 24 in 23 minutes. Uh, not that it matters so much, but he does perform well against these drop coverages.
So there's our fourth official play of the day. Making use of the big slate. Once again, make sure you've hit that like button if you're tailing the picks, if you are enjoying the show today. Second last game to go through before we get to the Q&A from the chat. We have the Denver Nuggets, 8.5-point favorites on the road at the Portland Trailblazers. Anything you can do with this game?
Yeah, I'll think I'll build same game parlay for this big same game parlay because there are some stuff I like in this one. I'll do uh, Christian Brown 10 plus, Aaron Gordon 10 plus, Jokic 8 plus assist. I'm just trying to build something up here. And Jeremy Grant 15 plus points. We get to 253. Let me just check something else. And then Denver to win, yeah.
And Denver, too. All right.
We get, yeah.
So 5 legs.
Think Portland is not good enough to. Yeah, I just think like transition will be. They'll put so much pressure on Jokic to get the ball out of his hands. He will then get assist to Gordon and Christian Brown, correlated stuff. On the other side, the only player in good matchup is Jeremy Grant. I'll show you that. Just a second. Denver. If you take a look at the Jeremy Grant for points, he's scoring most of his points as a spot up. Denver allows fourth most, and he scores second most of his points in a transition. That's another weakness of Denver. And most of his points above the break 3, where Denver allows a lot of points. Not to the pull-up shooter as they put 2 on the ball, probably against Simons and Sharp and Scoot. But then Jeremy Grant will be open, and yeah, that's the thing why I like Jeremy Grant in this spot. And I probably bet him straight if I didn't think there is a blowout chance in this one. They are not playing that great, and Denver is now healthy, and yeah, this should be a game for them to do well.
So there is the fifth official pick of the day. Christian Brown, 10 plus points. Aaron Gordon, 10 plus points. Nikola Jokic, 8 plus assists. Jeremy Grant, 15 plus points. And Denver on the money line, plus 344 odds available at the FanDuel Sportsbook, our presenting sponsor. Let's go to the final game here. Already 5 picks, already gone through lots of the games, but one more. See if we can find one extra bit to add to the show. Lakers away at the Sacramento Kings. Not far to travel, but an away game nonetheless. Lakers 4.5-point underdogs here. Over under of 229. Just checking on the updated injury report for the Lakers. LeBron James questionable. Anthony Davis probable for this one. Any thoughts for this game?
Yeah, on the other side, Sabonis questionable, Keegan Murray questionable, Kevin Huerter questionable, LeBron James is questionable. Not betting this one. I will probably bet when the news are out, but not at this time. Like I am not guessing in this one because I have no idea. LeBron is questionable because I don't know. Keegan Murray is known for he missed. I think he missed the last game, and then Sabonis some back injury. That's really rough. So no bet. And if everyone is out, like if Keegan Murray is out, Kings are very different. They have zero defense. If Sabonis is out, that they don't have backup big at all, like competitive. Like who is going to play at 5 against AD? Like they'll need to play Alex Len. Yeah, that's well overall. No bets for this one. Yeah.
All right. No bets. So that will wrap up the portion of the stream where we go through all the games. Now we hand it over to you in the chat. Any bets you have for the day you want reactions to or second opinions on, any questions you have just in general, be it about basketball or anything else to do with betting, send them in the chat and we'll get to a bunch of them here as we go through the rest of the show. We'll start off with one that we had queued up from earlier on. Johnny C asked about DeJounte Murray under 6.5 assists at plus 104 odds.
I'm okay with it. Just he will have like tremendous usage. Like he'll handle the ball like for 30 minutes. His on ball time will be insane. He's not known for creating, but he is known like to pass the ball with 5 seconds left on the shot clock, and players need to shoot. And if it goes in, it's an assist. So I lean under points and assist at 26.5, but that's just a lean.
Right. So lean there on DeJounte Murray under assists. So if you like it, bit of support there. We'll go to Michael, who asks about the price on Malik Beasley straight on for threes. You mentioned you wanted to include him in some capacity in a bet earlier. We just didn't have the lines available. Would you consider playing Malik Beasley straight on for threes?
I think it will be 4.5 and like heavy, like 4.5 and minus 105. Probably something.
It's plus one. Well, for 4.5, there's plus 140 available, plus 120, plus 130, more widely available options there. That's the price we got for Beasley.
Yeah, that's a good price. But I think the matchup is great. Like matchup is absolutely great. He could get up like 12 to 14 threes, and in that case, at plus 140, that should be a good price for him to score 5. So I do lean over on that one as well. At great plus 130, 140. That's a great price.
Jelko asked about Tobias Harris over 22.5 PRA at 1.85 odds. So I think that's about minus 115 or so.
Yeah. I don't know about rebounds. They are not good rebounding matchup for him, but points and assists should be decent. The points and assists are at 17.5, so then probably better to just bet the points, rebounds, and assists. He is covering this at a decent pace and average a bit above this. And I just don't think the thing is, I don't think the Ivy being out means anything for this, and the line did increase. Like less Ivy means more Beasley, who is shooting at the same clip, and more Marcus Sasser, who is shooting at the same clip. Like doesn't change usage for Tobias Harris at all. So I
Okay.
think this line moved to it was 20 points, rebounds, and assists with Ivy. Now it's 22 without Ivy, while it doesn't affect much in a positive way. So yeah, I don't know. Like I'm split on that one.
Okay. Cal, I know you mentioned Morant, but Cal asked about John Morant over 22.5. You were leaning under for him today, right?
Yeah, I don't like the. I'm not betting. Like not leaning under. Like I just saying like terrible matchup.
Right.
The minutes and usage are kind of increasing, but Golden State limits transition. Golden State limits pick and roll stuff. So if they limit transition pick and roll, how does he scores? So yeah, no. I don't like over.
Johnny C asked about Aaron Gordon over 19.5 points plus rebounds
That's a
at
good
minus
one.
111. Good line.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, that not a good like good matchup. Line was 18 and a half like an hour ago. It moved to 19 and a half, but I still lean over. I think matchup is good. Minutes will be good for him in tonight. This line, he averaged like 24 this season when he's playing 30 plus. So yeah, this is a great one.
And we have two more here. Zubac over points rebounds at 24.5. This was asked by D. Shifty in chat, minus 118. Do you like
Yeah,
Zubac in this one?
I like. I lean over as well. Uh, I, the Lively and Gafford matchups are they will go a lot for the help on the pick and roll stuff, and and if they post up, they won't help on Zubats, and he can use that as advantage.
And final one here, that Persian guy asked about Capella 10 plus points at minus 125 odds because Okongwu's out and the Spurs are bottom three at defending the roll man.
I don't know the minutes for Capella in this one. I expect more against Wemby without Okongwu. They can play easily Jalen Johnson at the 5 or like small ball without when Wemby is out. But against Wemby, I don't like playing wings against him in this one. So yeah, 25 minutes for Capella and 10 plus points should be something to cover.
All right, that'll do it for the Q&A portion of the stream. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning into the show today. We really appreciate the support. As a reminder, scheduling for the next week or next 2 weeks. We're live tomorrow as normal for the Friday show. Next week, we're going to be live on Monday and Friday, but not for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday because of the holiday period. And New Year's Day, January 1st, we also won't be live. But the rest of the weekdays, so long as there are NBA games to discuss, we'll be live here on the Board YouTube channel for Pick and Roll presented by FanDuel. Make sure you guys have hit that like button if you did enjoy the show over the course of today's stream. And especially if you're telling the picks, that deserves a like. Subscribe and have the notification bell on so you never miss out on any of the content, especially amidst this holiday season where the schedule is not as consistent as it would normally be. But here are the 5 picks from the show today. A lot of picks to go through as we had a big slate. Let's have a good day here. Chicago at Boston. We have Porzingis 15 plus points and 1 plus 3-pointer made. And we also have that alongside Nikola Vucevic, 15 plus points. So hopefully we can get started off on the right foot for this play here. We'll go into the second play here. We have Victor Wembanyama over 2.5 3-pointers made. We found it minus 120. We found it minus 125. We found it also minus 130. All of those prices are acceptable, but minus 120 was a widely available option. So we are going to be going with that price for show tracking. We then have Bradley Beal over 50.5 points. We found that for minus 115 as the Pacers visit the Suns. Then in a big match between the Knicks and Timberwolves where some players playing against their former teams. We're not playing any of those guys, but we are playing Jalen Brunson, 20 plus points, and Anthony Edwards, 20 plus points, plus the 3 plus 3-pointers made. That was minus 111 at FanDuel. Then, final pick, Denver at Portland. 5-leg, big SGP, tracked at a half unit. Christian Brown, 10-plus points. Aaron Gordon, 10-plus points. Nikola Jokic, 8-plus assists. Jeremy Grant, 15-plus points. And the Denver Nuggets money line at plus 344 odds at FanDuel. Again, that does it for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Pick and Roll presented by FanDuel Sportsbook on the Board YouTube channel, part of the Hammer Betting Network. We'll see you tomorrow.